This is a View from the Bridge official podcast of the Belfast Giants for Kingdom, the Giants.com. Today is Tuesday, the 5th of March, 2024. My name's Davey McJimsey. Delighted to be joined by my two very good friends. One, Simon Kitchen, down below there, says, lovely to have you along as always.
Thank you, David.
And they say never meet your heroes, but I thoroughly recommend that you do. Marty, great to have you back on a View from the Bridge, mate.
Great to be back on, boys. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Obviously, you can see there is no Patrick Smith. There is no Patrick Smith this week. So this is probably going to be one and two things. One, chaotic. Two, short. So let's get cracked on. Says and myself obviously forgot that we actually played a game last week against the Dundee Stars. But Marty, who has came to the party here, has got all the details. So we'll quickly run through the details. It's a 6-2 home win for the Belfast Giants in front of over 6,000 people on a Wednesday night. We'll probably come back to that. Says goals from Matt McLeod, Ben Lake, Travis Bryan, David Goodwin, another from McLeod, and another goal for the informed Cameron Pound. Jackson Whistle and nets, 22 shots against, 2 goals against. And Marty, your thoughts on the game?
What I've seen so far this season, Dundee Stars, it's always a physical game. Doesn't matter if it's Manchester, Cardiff. So we knew exactly what we're up against. And I was, from the word go, it was great to see the physical game. There was boys, Jacob Friend, Bobby McIntyre, Will Cullen. They weren't afraid to lay the body. And they more or less came out the traps and did that. I felt we got, the first 2 goals. We got into our stride. It looked like we were cruising. Dundee got one more back. We then obviously got the goal up again. We got back into, I think it was a comfortable lead, about 4-2. And the only time I really felt Dundee were looking dangerous was in that second period when the score was 4-2.
Says, I know that the games are coming so thick and fast. We genuinely almost did forget about last Wednesday night. But for yourself, like a fairly decent start from the Giants, and as you say, fairly even second period. But I thought, especially coming in that third period, to control the game well enough.
Yeah. Again, you're always looking for a spark. I mean, that big hit from Will Cullen wasn't. I think that was again, wasn't it? Because he ended up getting a scrap, and I actually think Will sort of hurt himself with the hit as well. I mean, so many people crying about, it was a bad hit. I mean, if that's a bad hit, you may as well wrap the things up and start playing tiddlywinks. It was a great hit. He stepped up, played his man, kept his elbow tucked in. Great hit. Just carrying on from there and trying to. It's all about when you get that 4-2 lead. It seems to be at the minute there's a little bit of a different mentality about us. A month ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago, you're still worried. You've been 2 goals up and they get the next one, and there's a possibility of somebody else, basically tying the game up. We played a game against Dundee. I think it was coming towards the end of December. And they did exactly that. We were 2 or 3 goals up, and they ended up coming back and beating us. We did it with 5. They ended up coming back and beating us. Coventry were coming back and beating us from 4-0 down. So I think there's been a little bit of a shift. Marty mentions the 27th of January for Tedesco. It's no secret that Tedesco has really started to ramp up when David Goodwin came in. Goody makes players a better around him. Marty, if me and you were playing on the wing with Goody, we'd score points. So, well, I would anyway. But there's David Goodwin just sees the ice differently, and it's hard to explain sometimes. You have people who they're probably the fastest skater in the world, but their brain doesn't go as fast as their feet do. And David Goodwin is one of those players where he's got the smarts, he can skate. He's basically, it's his compete level that just, you get it every single shot. Ben Lake's another one. And you can see a little bit of a change in Tedesco since Goody's come in. And he's, like that line of that Marty was touching on there of Goody, Tedesco and Lake. They've actually played some really good hockey, and they're moving the puck about really well. We'll go on to talk about it, but we'll go on Saturday. Will Cullen again actually ended up getting that second goal, 5-on-5, and it was absolutely brilliant. So I thought that we control the game. We talk about game management. Adam talks about game management all the time. You're going 4-2 up, you get that 5th goal, and you just continue to roll your 4 lines to try and get everybody in the lineup. So I thought that it was a really good performance. Again, another 6 or 8 weeks ago, we might have ended up, struggling to finish that game out.
I just come back to one thing you talked about, and was the hit and Will Cullen. I'll reference our good friend of the show, Mark Lefebvre, who probably had, you spoke to him after the game, says probably had the best view in the house of that hit. It's 6 feet directly in front of him. I had a little fight on Twitter with some Dundee stars who said it was a disgusting hit and dops and this. For me, Cullen goes with the stick left-handed, and it's well out in front of him. And before he gets to the hit, it's a full 180 degrees that way, which naturally means the shoulder and elbow has to be tucked. He goes down into the hit, and he hits him 4 square in the chest, and his head comes forward. If you hit him on the head, his head can only go back. So it's like, as I put on Twitter, it's textbook. If you want to show somebody how to make that open ice hit, that's actually a video of what you do, instead of this nonsense that we'll have to ban people for every single hit. I thought he, quite on, as you say, I think he was a wee bit stunned himself from the hit, and he was forced in that fight. Yeah. Obviously, the instigator in that instance was called. Let him get up. If you're going to make him fight, let him get up and defend himself. I thought from that point of view, he wasn't really allowed to get involved in the fight. Obviously, he took a few punches and went down. You know, but here, that was the end of that game. And want to talk any more about it? We'll just move on to the weekend.
Sorry, Marty. The Jacob Friend standing up for himself at the end of the first period was important as well. I think the score was 3-1 at that stage. Britton comes in, gives him a face wash. Jacob, let's go. Went centre ice, hit him 4 or 5 punches straight in the button. And he thought he was surrounded at one point. But I thought he did great as well. You know, I thought Jacobs played really well the last 4 or 5 games. And as I say, hopefully we can just start building that form heading into the scratch.
Well, we talked about Friend through the course of the season. 5th fighting major of the season. We know the numbers. He leads the team in hits, and that physicality. He's well up there in blocks as well. He's been that. I know, but I don't like to use those numbers. We'll get in trouble.
Will Cullen was the 500th fight, wasn't it?
Oh, Will Cullen, yes, very good point, Simon. For Will Cullen's fight, Marty, I don't know if you've seen that. We'll put it on Twitter. It was the 500th all-time Belfast Giants fight. Obviously, the first one in our very first game away in Nottingham against.
Did you have one, Marty?
There was a bench clearance against Sheffield, and we just.
Who'd you pick?
No, well, we just grabbed a few guys, and
I grabbed a few guys.
No, sorry. Everyone grabbed the guy each. I should refuse that. Everyone grabbed the guy each, but there was nothing exchanged. No.
So first fight back in the day, away in the NIC, Paxton Schulte against Eric Levine. I think I told you, Simon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Long time ago. 15th of September 2000. So 24 years later, 500 fights. So it's always good to see, boys. As we talked about as well last week, Simon. Nobody sitting down. Nobody booing. Everybody, probably the man, woman, and child, up there screaming their head off for the man that throws the gloves down. There's something very special about someone that's willing to defend your city that way, and I don't think that'll ever change. While there's the fighting's, well, not allowed. It's a penalty still, but fighting's part of the game. But hey, then we move on to what night was it? It was Friday, of course. And see if I can get these the right way around. I see Patrick's watching in the background here now. You might be able to see him. So I'm under pressure.
Enjoying the scene, eh? Lucky boy.
Friday, yes, we got it right, didn't we? Was it 5-1 the first game?
Yeah.
Goals from Matt McLeod, Daniel Tedesco, Blake Spears on a complete heater. I think that was his eighth game in a row with a point. Ben Lake and Kohei Sato rounding it out. Mitch Cook for the Coventry Blaze. And nets for the Belfast Giants. Second start in a row, Jackson Whistle. 25 shots, 1 goal against. And Simon, before I come to you with the first question, I'm going to roll the video here for the highlights, but I've just kept in. We'll have a little bit of silence for the see if I can get this here. Apologies to people. if I can get the Blake. All right.
Thank you. Now let's hear that applause as we celebrate Dale's life.
And says it starts with one of the best hits you're going to see this season.
Thought it was great. Laker just closing the gap down your man head. I just wish we had got it in a slow-mo camera and watched it going head over top. I was going to say tits there, but you know what I mean. It was a great play. It just closing the gap down. And then Luciano, you call that guy, he had nearly a breakaway just after that as well. So, good fair hit. Everybody loves to see a good fair hit. The guy took it well, got straight back on the ice again the way he went. But no, I mean going straight over the top of the board with your feet hanging up, absolutely classic. I thought it was another good game. And the first period, bit scrappy in fairness. Both teams trying to find a way out. Coventry obviously coming into the game off a very, very difficult week for them. But this is the first talking point. How that's not a penalty, I'll never know. I just can't get my head around it. The whole point of protecting goalies and protecting plays. I mean, he's a good friend of ours now as well, Johnny Curran, but he makes no attempt to slow up here. He makes no attempt at all to slow up. That's a penalty all day long. And then literally 20 minutes or 24 minutes later, Bobby Mack does exactly the same thing, comes off the wall, cuts to the net, and when you watch Bobby Mack, he actually tries to stop before he gets to the goalie, and he gets a penalty. Plus the goalie's blockering him in the head. I can't remember which referee was standing right over it, but that's a penalty. If you're not going to call one, you can't call the other one. Consistency, that's all they're looking for. But back to the game itself, 0-0 at the end of the first period. I thought that it was nip and tuck, to be honest. That Coventry had a couple of opportunities. Jackson started the game again in net for the Giants. Thought he played really well. He made a couple of really important saves early on itself. And then the Giants get a goal through Matty McLeod, I think it wasn't the first goal. Matty scores the first on the night, and I think that was his third in 2 games. He'd got 2 goals against Dundee. So it's good to see him getting rewarded and getting a goal as well. But that little dish from Sato over the body, the guy's diving down to try and stop the puck getting through to him, and a little dish over the top, nice wee saucer, put onto a plate for Matty McLeod to put it home. So great start. But again, Coventry, they just wouldn't go away, and they kept on coming back. Obviously, they took the lead. That was a goal for tying it up, and they just kept on digging in. I thought they played really well. They competed really well, but I thought that they just basically run out of steam and made a couple of mistakes. And we'll talk to Danny Stewart after the game. He thought they made a couple of mistakes. Here's this goal that we're talking about as well. Nice little dish there, and that was the game tying goal. So, but once we got our third, again, I think it was Blake Spears that got the third goal. Once we got the third goal, we sort of looked in control, and it was happy enough. Again, a third period was really strong. But let's see what Marty thoughts on the game were.
And Marty, just on what Sis is saying there, they obviously, and want to come back to it, the night was started with an impeccable minutes silence, minutes applause in memory and in celebration of the life of Keno.
Yeah, and unfortunately we have had a couple of tragedies this year, and each time the SSE Arena has been very respectful, and they have been great, for the community, the ice hockey community. And yeah, just going into this game, watching this game, I watched it from home, and yeah, I just thought, I feel for the Coventry players. I don't know what they're going through, but at the same time, just to try and lift their game and come out and obviously perform and just try and continue the season on, because obviously they're sitting in a healthy enough position, but obviously they wanted to come into this weekend and do it for Keno. But yeah, getting back to the game, since it just touched, we went one down. I felt, once we got that second goal, we kind of didn't look back. We just kept on striving forward. I thought Coventry were doing there's that they were doing too many silly turnovers in their own defensive end. I don't know if that's just been nerves, but I just felt normally Coventry are quite good going out the boards, and they were playing too many risks, and the Giants were obviously capitalizing on that. And I felt, well, certainly on the Friday night, majority of the Giants goals were due to their mistakes.
And Says coming back to you there then to close the sort of the Friday night game out. I got my notes here from Friday. We're doing the stats on the night. Please. That's probably Saturday. One of the strongest third period pushes we've had this season.
Yeah, I thought we were really good in the third period. Again, you get that third goal from Blake Spears, 3-4 minutes into the third. I thought that gave us like a bit of an insurance goal, and then we went on and just kept on plugging away. We talked about We talked about Tedesco, Lake, and Goodwin, about the last game on the Wednesday. I thought their play on Wednesday, on Friday night was absolutely brilliant. Laker got a goal and Tedesco got a goal. And this is the Laker slap shot from the top of the point. The little drop pass from Jacob Friend, who took 2 players away with him as well. And a cannon from Laker to basically get that 4th goal, and basically at the end of that was the game over. It was a very physical game. Marty just touched on it there a few minutes ago. It's when you look at the big hit from Laker to start the game off in the first shift, then there was a coming together with Bobby McIntyre at the bench. He finishes his hit on Christo, I think it was, and then sort of gets dragged in towards the barrier, or in towards their bench, sorry. It was a bit of a scrum. I'm led to believe it was Johnny Curran.
Right at the very end, yeah.
Bobby, give him one back, and again, it was a smart call from the referee. Bit of a scrum in there, call one guy each. That's the right call all day long. And again, you get a solidification goal, if that's what you want to call it.
There's your Bobby Mack incident just up on screen now, says.
You know what? I just can't, as I say, it's the whole thing. The official's right there, and how he doesn't call the goalie for he hit him at least 2 shots with a blocker. That's an automatic thrown out of the game and suspension. I mean, you watch the whole play there. It was the defenseman pushed him into him, and then Norris gives him a bit of a whack there, pushing him down. There's a glove trying to get a glove into him, and there's the blocker. How is that not called? I do not know. You're trying to just, as I say, call it what you see. You see the spray coming up from Bobby Mack before he actually reaches the goalie. That's called, and the one at the other end is not called. And then Adam trying to get an answer from the officials, and there was no communication at all about it. So, to be honest, I thought they were in the wrong, and I think they know they were in the wrong because they wouldn't communicate with Adam after that. And he was nice and calm. He came to the front of the bench. He asked for him to want to approach him, and they didn't go anywhere near him. So it's all about communication. I just thought we controlled the game. The game management in the last couple of games has been really, really good. You're getting 4 lines playing regularly. Everybody's getting their minutes. I think everybody was up over 10 minutes on Friday night, and I just thought we really turned the game, managed it well, and finished it off pretty decent as well.
And obviously Friday night says you had Cameron Pound in the commentary box with you. This bench size rule that you have to, it melts my head a wee bit that you have to drop a British player in the British League, but you can play as many imports as you want, but you've got to make British guys sit down. Again, another note for your guy Josh Roach, who's been just simply spectacular this last lot of weeks, playing a lot of minutes.
Look, I've talked about him before. I think he's a Rolls Royce. I don't want to label him the same as what I think of Jim Vandermeer. Vandy was outstanding for us, and he just showed his class. Roachy's not far off it. His skating ability, jumping up into the play, the reading of the game, he just plays so well. Makes smart decisions. Yeah, he got caught out a couple of times. Like he caught out on Sunday with a goal, or Saturday in a goal, with a bad pass coming across the front of the slot. But it's one of those ones where again he takes gambles, and most of the time they pay off. But I just thought him and Bomber have been really, really good together. I just think the way they read the game, they've sort of got the same philosophy of the way they play. When if one's going, the other one definitely sitting back. At times at the weekend, I can't remember which game it was, but at times Roachy was the furthest man forward for us, because he's that comfortable with knowing the guys. If he's on the ice with Laker, he knows Laker's going to take responsibility and drop back as defensive unit. So it's basically still 2 of them there. But I thought we controlled the game really well. Roachy's, I think he's been playing absolutely brilliant since he came back. 27 minutes, Dave, if I'm right, on Friday night. We're coming back from an MCL, ACL, double injury. That's just outstanding.
And what's impressed me with him as well is passing. His passing seems to be a lot better. Just pinpoint. Certainly going from the defensive blue up, just before the offensive, he's always finding them forwards, pinpoint passes. Nearly as good as what David Goodwin's doing with his passing. That's what's really impressed me. I'm glad this is up now. One thing I wanted to touch on, this little skirmish, obviously in front of the net. Yeah, it's fine. Nobody McIntyre. If it is Johnny Curran, yeah, there are a few punches exchanged, but that's a cheap shot from Clements. He doesn't need to go in there and hit a slide dig at the back of the helmet there. It's dangerous doing that. He could maybe pull Bobby back more or less, get him out of that skirmish, but doing a punch in the back of the head, that's a no-no.
Look at that stride from Roche. Just the strength and the way he's using his edges. He's a great skater, and it takes him out of a lot of trouble and just controls the game. And we ended up coming out with that win as a 5-1 victory. And it's you always want to win the first game of your doubleheader at home. You always want to do that. It's one of the ones where if you win the first one, the team's going to come out against you on the Saturday night or the next night, whatever it may be, ready to go. And that's exactly what happened with Coventry on Saturday night. But it's important to get the first night win. And obviously, with winning the Wednesday night, you're carrying a little bit of momentum into Friday. We win on the Friday, you're carrying a lot more momentum into the Saturday. So I thought it was a solid performance.
Well, let's have 60 seconds with the coaches to see what they thought.
Yeah, first off, let me touch on obviously Dale's passing. It's never something you want to hear, and obviously we feel for the Coventry organization, Dale's family, and we send out our well wishes for them. I thought both teams came out and would have done Dale proud with good efforts. I thought Coventry was very good in the first period. Didn't really give us a whole lot. We had to fight for everything, and then, they got the first one there in the second, and I liked our guys' response to that. No panic, and they slowly fought their way back into that game, and then the third period was great. In that third period, we locked it down.
Yeah, it has been a tough week for everyone, obviously the group and everyone involved in the organization, but obviously family members and friends all up and down the country. I mean, you've seen the love and support for Keno on social media, and so yeah, it's been tough in that sense. And our performance, 25-30 minutes, really good. We were battling, competing. As good as we defended all year, and then we make an unfortunate an unnecessary play at the blue line there, turn a puck over, and you give a good team life. From there, they hemmed us in a couple of times, and then we turn the puck over again, and you just give them more touches, more zone time, and through that, they're eventually going to burn you, and that's what happened. But, we come into the break after the second 2-1 game in Belfast, you're still in a hockey game, and, I thought the first 3-4 minutes we were okay. But again, just individual mistakes. I think just soft plays on the puck, not just being satisfied with simple when it's needed. And ultimately they get you a couple lucky bounces there. I think on the fifth goal, just swear it out. And I don't think it's a 5-1 game, but at the same time, Belfast, I think they got better as the game got on, and eventually, ended up winning that game.
I should know how to get rid of this. There we go. There we're back. Normally at this stage of the show, we would move on to the second game, but we've got a very important person waiting in the green room, and I think we should just crack on with this rather than have him standing about for the rest of the night listening to us talk nonsense. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome back to the show OC Oliver Cooper. How are you, Coops?
Hey guys, how are you?
Lovely to have you along, Oliver. Obviously, sort of.
OC, turn your phone around 90%, 90 degrees.
90%.
Hope you've got your screen lock on. All this technical ability. There you go.
There we are. Thank you, he says. Oliver's obviously sort of, 20, 25 games now since you had that couple of months of an injury that kept you out. How you feeling now?
No, feeling good. Happy to be back. It was a long couple months sitting there watching, and happy to be back, feeling good, and yeah, excited for last push. Yeah,
and it has been, I guess, even through October, November when you were out, not bit of December when you were out watching, it's been an up and down season. We've been really struggling just to find that consistency. This is a kind of time of the season now where we're starting to get boys healthy again. There's games coming up where we're just going to be looking to lay a bit of a marker down as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about it now the last couple of weeks. Every game now is a playoff game, and we want to prepare like every game is do or die and be ready. And, be at the top of our game when the time comes.
Oh, see, obviously, I mean, you were out for nearly 2 months with the injury. It's never easy watching your teammates that you're obviously you only been on the ice for probably 6 weeks before you got hurt, the 7 weeks. But what was it like? Obviously, being around with in the ECHL or North America, you don't really get that opportunity to stay around the boys when there's an injury. What's it like with being around the boys here and obviously whether you're training in the Donald or whether you're training at the arena, and you have that opportunity to still feel part of the team?
Yeah, it was really important for me. I mean, it can get lonely in injuries, but being able to kind of keep that routine and be around the guys every day and still feel like I'm a part of it was awesome. Definitely uplifting for my spirits. And kudos to the guys for kind of keeping me involved and making me feel like I'm a part of it, even though I wasn't on the ice with them.
You're looking at, you come in and you get that hat trick against Fife, obviously the shootout winner. That's certainly after such difficult time for you. I think it's fair to say you probably came back a little bit earlier than what you should have, because you just wanted to get out there and help the team. But coming back and getting that hat trick in 23rd of December, I think it was, that must have felt good for you.
Yeah, that felt really nice. I mean, I hadn't scored before that, and sitting out for all that time and just kind of waiting. It was nice to get a couple bounces and get rewarded like that. So.
Hey Oliver, nice to chat with you. I felt that when you were injured that our power play just wasn't consistent. We were just missing that link, and certainly when you came back from injury, Adam Keefe put you straight in there, and the goals just happening. The goals just started to happen, and I just felt that was you were the guy that was just missing to obviously pop the goals in. Obviously, you got a couple. You were all the big body being in there, creating more space for the boys. Were you surprised to be put straight in there when you returned from injury?
Yeah. Honestly, I was a little surprised, but yeah, we had some injuries and some guys that were out, and I was given an opportunity and just want to go out there and do whatever I can whenever I'm on the ice, no matter what the situation. Whenever I'm called upon, I just want to go out there and help my team win. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even on the PK as well. I speak to a lot of fans. A lot of my buddies. It's like, oh yeah, OC, get him on the PP, get him on the PK. Everyone just feels ultra kind of confident whilst you're out there. So you certainly got the winning over the fans in that one. But also the last 3 games, you've played with our 2 quickest skaters. You've played with Manny McLeod and Kohei. What's it like keeping up with them guys on the rush?
It's tough keeping up with them. I don't know. I'm usually a full half of the ice behind them whenever they get the puck, but no, they usually keep it down there long enough for me to catch up with them and get to the front of the net.
Yeah, no, you've done well. You guys got a couple of points there over the last 3 games, so it seems to be working well. And yeah, keep it up. All good.
Yeah. Thank you. No, they're great to play with. They're great players, so they make it easy.
OC, let's talk about Belfast as maybe a little bit away from the ice as well. What's it been like as I'm not calling an experiment, an experience coming across here and playing? What's it been like just being part of the city?
Honestly, it's been incredible. This city is unbelievable. I mean, the fan base is great, but I mean, for me personally, the experience off the ice has been one of the best I've had playing hockey. I mean, we just have a blast here. It's incredible. So, I mean, the way we get treated on and off the ice from this organization, the fans, the atmosphere in the rink, just top notch. It's a great organization. I mean, like I said, I'm having a blast this year. It's one of the best years of hockey I've had. So really
and he always tells me off for mentioning him, but a guy that's also been on the injured reserve this season, and and trainer Jason Toff-Valerie, like he's a pretty special guy around the room as well, isn't he? You talk about being looked after.
Yeah, no, he's incredible. I'd say he's one of the most important pieces of this organization. The work he puts in and the little extra things that he does every day for us is incredible to, make our job easier of going out on the ice and playing at our top, at the top of our game. He does anything for us. And yeah, the fact that he's doing that on crutches for the last month and a half or however long it's been is pretty incredible. So he hasn't missed a beat.
Had you had an equipment manager before sharpening skates in that condition?
Never. I've never had an equipment manager who's been hobbling around on crutches and getting the job done. So he's pretty special. He's committed, and he's a big part of this organization.
Did you know his name is Jason? Because everybody calls him Taff.
Yeah, I
sometimes every day is a school day. OC.
Yeah, sometimes when he texts me, it says Jason. I'm like, who is this?
Listen, you talk about obviously your experience in Belfast. I think when we first talked back in August, this is your first time overseas. Is that right?
Yeah, first time overseas. Never been over before. So,
and obviously, you know, it's your first time away from your family. With regards to that much of a distance, I mean, literally wherever you're playing in North America, it's a couple of hour flight most of the time, but being this distance, and I know your dad's coming over soon as well. You must be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited. He this is going to be the second time he came. He came earlier in October. He flew in the day after I had surgery, so he had the trip planned, and just unfortunate that I got injured. And anyway, so got to spend a couple of weeks with him then, and he's coming back, and hopefully get to see me play some games this time.
We've got two big games this weekend against Sheffield. I'm not sure if you've actually played against Sheffield yet, have you?
No,
I don't think you have. Yeah, so you've obviously seen that they're leading the league right now. They're obviously in a really good spot. They've some great success so far this year, but we've run 3 in a row. Surely the boys are feeling good about themselves looking into this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, we're building for the playoffs, and we're just looking to build our confidence. I mean, I think the last 3 games we've shown that. I mean, we've, like Kiefer said, there was no panic when they scored that first one, and I think in the past sometimes when things got tough, we kind of crumbled a bit. But yeah, I think these last 3 games and honestly the last month, I think we've seen some big strides, and I mean, Sheffield's obviously a measuring point for us, and we want to go in there and make a statement.
OC, just before you go, you touched there that you're enjoying Belfast, you're enjoying the city. Where's the best place to get a Guinness?
Oh, I don't know. It depends who's listening, I guess. I don't want to offend anybody. I would say my top 2 would be Kelly's and Biddle's. Oh.
Well, Biddle's is my number 1, so yeah,
there we go.
Choice on that one.
Good.
OC, just to close it out, and we appreciate your time on tonight. It's the end of February. It's the start of March, so it's the Player of the Month competitions back around again. There's been a short list done, and your 4 teammates who have made the short list this month: Kohei Sato again, line mates, Daniel Tedesco, who's on a bit of a heater, and the man who may be well responsible, David Goodwin, and of course the big D man who's acting forward, Big Travis, Big Brownie, scoring goals for fun up there. So you've got those 4 on your short list. Who's getting your X?
That's a tough one, honestly. Every time you name somebody, I was like, yeah, that's who I'm voting for. But no, honestly, they've all made huge impacts for us this month. But I think the one that sticks out the most for me is probably Brownie. He's playing out of position and just doing anything for the team. And honestly, he's been incredible. He makes it look easy. So yeah, I think just the selflessness of him being willing to change positions like that and be able to contribute and, help the team to the magnitude that he has is pretty impressive. So
I'm going to put these other 2 boys in the spot here, OC, while you're on. Sis, your Player of the Month this month?
Tedesco.
Perry, doing well.
He scored some important goals. I think that trio of Laker, Tedesco, and Goody's been really, really good. And you've seen a different Daniel Tedesco this month. I've already touched on it. We know what Goody brings to the table over the last 3.5 years that he's been here. He's such a smart player. And I don't want to sound as if it makes it easier for the likes of Tedesco to score goals. It doesn't, but just the way Goody looks at the game and he knows where to put the puck to make it easier for his teammate. It's like, you want the puck being passed in front of you, and some guys just know when, just how to basically make that play, make it possible, whether it's bouncing off of the dasher board into his path, or whether it's basically making it, or just through the legs of the fence, whatever it may be. But Tedesco's really capitalized on that. I'm not sure how many points he's had. I have no idea. But I think he's had a great month, and hopefully that carries into March and then into April as well.
Yeah, honestly, just to touch on that, like, Goody's been an incredible addition. Like, I know he's been here before, but like the presence that he has, in that dressing room and on the ice is incredible. He's been a huge factor in the team's success since he's been back. So
you're sitting beside him in the locker room?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. What, again, you just touch on that, but obviously Coops has been out for a while as the captain, but as an ex-captain and David Goodwin coming in, it's part of the reason that I'm assuming Stephen and Adam Keith brought him back in again, because it was leadership qualities added to that we know he's a good player, and it's his compete level, but it's not just a compete level in practice, it's a compete level in everything that he does. But what's he like in the room for you guys and your teammates?
Honestly, he's been great. He's a calming presence for us. He motivates. He knows what to say at the right times, and he just leads in every aspect of life, whether it's off the ice things, community events, workouts, and then on the ice. Obviously, you see the product, practice and games. He never changes. He's one of our hardest workers every time he's on the ice. So he's been a huge impact on the team, and definitely a positive presence, and really happy that he ended up coming back.
Marty, you're not getting away without casting a vote. So Kohei Sato, Daniel Tedesco, David Goodwin, and Travis Brown. Who's getting it?
Yeah, it was Tedesco. Tedesco for me. I seen a lot of him last year when he played in Guildford. When he was scoring a lot. When he wasn't scoring, he was assisting a lot, making a lot of plays. I felt he was just maybe taking one too many touches this year. Leading up to that game on the 27th of January, which I touched on against Coventry, and I was actually chatting with Paddy and just saying, I wish he would just stop doing the extra move, and then all of a sudden it just he stopped doing it, and then he just started playing with that little bit of swagger, that confidence. He's shooting when he needs to shoot. He's passing at the right time. It's as if everything's just clicked, and I just feel it's been a joy to see that Tedesco that we all know. And it's his touch. Yeah, let's hope he just keeps on steamrolling forward here right into the playoffs.
You actually just don't. I don't think you realize how talented he is. Obviously you get to practice with him every day.
Oh,
he's so skillful. He's really, really skillful.
No, when he's stick handling on the ice, everybody's like, oh, and then all of a sudden he's got the puck again. It's crazy. Like, the puck just doesn't leave his stick. He's got the best hands I've seen in a long time. It's crazy.
If you're not getting away with it, who's yours?
Blake Spears. He never made the short list, but he's came in 9 games, 9 points, bit of a streak. But yeah, out of those 4, it's no secret, bit of a fanboy of Terry. I used to say to him before every game, tonight's the night, knowing that something was coming. He was brewing for a long time, like never lost faith through that winter when things weren't going well for him. And when Goody came in, he's just been on that heater for whatever it is now, 6-8 weeks. It's really, really good to see Daniel Tedesco enjoying his hockey as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing for a while there where he didn't have a smile on his face, and that good things don't happen. It's like in life, good things don't happen when you're not happy, and good things happen when you're happy. And I'm delighted to see him playing with a smile on his face. It only bodes well for Belfast Giants, So
right,
Teddy for me as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, O'Shea, thank you very much for coming along tonight. As we said at the very start, double header in Sheffield this week. Obviously, they're running away at the top of the league, so bit of a marker to be laid down. No better man to be doing that for the Belfast Giants. So we wish you very well on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. That was fun.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, OC.
So there we are, lads. Thank you very much to OC for coming on. And we're going to have to take a step back now, because we're going to have a look at the second game from last weekend, which was a 5-3 win this time. Paddy makes this easy. I don't know. Let's hope this just comes up right. 5-3 win to the Belfast Giants. goals from, a double to start from Will Cullen, Blake Spears again, Bobby McIntyre, and Ben Lake with a fantastic short-handed effort with a sort of, what I'm going to say, says 150 feet feed from Jacob Friend in the corner, set him free, and he goes, I think he's gone backhand, forehand, can't remember. But in nets, Tyler Beskorowany started, got the shepherd's hook after about 25 minutes, 3 goals against off 7 shots, to be replaced by Jackson Whistle, who kept it at 3 from the 12 shots that he faced. Come to you first, Marty. I'll see while you're chatting there whether I can get the video file up here. But another good win for the Belfast Giants.
It was a great start as well by Will Cullen. Such a great read. Picks up the puck just before the blue, or just after the blue line, his defensive blue line. Nice intercept, and his wheels carrying the speed goes down and sets the game running. To a 1-0 game. Obviously 1-0, 1-1 went 2-1, 2-2-all, 3-2, 3-3-all. I certainly felt it was an evenly matched game up until when Besko was pulled. I felt Coventry had kind of tidied up their wall play. I felt they were starting to, especially when the Giants were, let's say, in their defensive zone, they were trying to hit the wingers, obviously doing their breakout. I felt Coventry were very good at smothering them and making the Giants forcing a turnover. And then I think it was on their second goal, they certainly capitalized on that. And I just felt that their play was certainly tidy in the first 2 periods. And then certainly once the Whistle came in, Giants' momentum kind of changed a little bit better. They got into a better stride. I think it was when the Blaze then made a silly mistake. I think they coughed it up in their own zone, in their defensive zone. I think it was Bobby McIntyre. I think it was one of the silliest mistakes I've seen by a D-man in this league this season. And Bobby McIntyre got that puck in more or less. I think he made it a 4-3 game. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
And after that, then obviously we got the 5th goal, but she's touched on Lake. I think there was a penalty called on it, but he was obviously so strong and fending the guy off. He kind of made it a 5-3 game. And sorry that I'm kind of just jumping through the whole game here, but I also felt then obviously when we went into that PK on the 5-on-3, and then once we got one of our players out of the box, then obviously they pulled the goalie in a 6-on-4. Not to concede 1 goal. It was as good as scoring a goal. The crowd reacted to it, appreciated what the boys were doing out there in the PK, and then certainly we have cleaned our act up on the PK. I know they got 50% of their goals were on the power play, but that was a big momentum builder, obviously going through to these next remaining games of the season.
And says, as Marty says there, although we did concede a couple on the with the man short, there was a couple of monumental shifts, big penalty kills towards the end of the game.
Yeah, that 5-on-3 was huge. It was disappointing to get the second penalty, but and it wasn't. I don't think it was meant the way it was happening. But you're coming out of it on the 5-on-3 for like 140 from memory, 130, something like that. You kill it off. You get back to 5-on-4. You kill the whole thing off, and then right at the very end, we get another penalty for too many men, and you get into a 6-on-4. They pull the goalie. They try and do something, basically at the other end, and again, just putting their body on the line and sacrificing everything to basically get the win. And Marty just touched on it there regarding you get it to 3-3. Clements, I think it was, made the mistake, Marty, when McIntyre went in on him. But if you watch the play, I'm pretty sure Mac actually gets a stick on the puck and it gets caught up in Clements' feet and then just sort of spurts away from him. But it was a great finish through the 5-hole by Bobby McIntyre. But even back to the 3rd goal, you touch on Blake Spears.
Go back even further. I've pressed pause here, Simon, to give you
opportunity. Okay, so you're talking about the first goal then?
First goal. The read and react here. They've gone for the stretch pass, gone for a double change on the blue line, and Will Cullen reads, reacts,
This is the Will Cullen we got at the start of last year. You know, it basically was taking gambles to jump ahead in the play, but he knows when you watch the full size of the ice, he knows that Jacob Friend's coming over behind him, so he can gamble and go forward. But I mean, what a finish from a defenseman. Will Cullen taking on this backhand and left the top shelf, and I know that gets it back to 1 each. But then they score a power play a minute and a half later to get the 2-1 ahead, and again, Will Cullen with a one-timer to tie it up. But you know, I just thought that even though they kept on coming back, they just didn't go away for the first 35 minutes after that. Once we got the go-ahead goal, I wasn't nervous as I've been over the last while. You know, when you're getting that, get it back to 2-2 and get it back to 3-3, and then when you go ahead 4-3, you've been nervous over the last while because you've been given leads up. But once we got that fourth goal, and you know, again, obviously Ben Lake's great goal for the shorthanded one for the fifth to get the insurance goal with a couple of minutes to go. I thought it was really good. But this is, you know, we're just looking at this shot here. Great shot. Besko and Dicko actually said at the time he thought this Besko was a little bit deep in his net. And he hasn't had the best time of late, Besko, but look, make no mistake about it. What he's done for this club has been absolutely phenomenal. And he might not be feeling great about himself right now. And you know, he's getting pulled 2 or 3 times in the last month or whatever it is. But Jackson came in. He did very well. You know, he didn't concede anything after they got their third goal past Besko. So it was important that we sort of solidified things, got it back to 3-3, and then, you know, sort of put the foot on it and just kept on putting the pressure on them. I thought that again over the last few games, it's just been very, very good with regards to effort, with regards to cohesion, with regards to the determination side of things. That pass from Goody is exactly what I was talking about early. I mean, there's 3 sticks in the lane there to get past, and he finds it through every single one of them, right on the tape for Will Cullen and a one-timer. Great shot, great goal, great pass, but it doesn't happen without Jacob Friend keeping on at top of the point and making a good pass across the Goody. So solid, not a good performance, team performance, and glad that we ended up getting a 6-point week.
And for me, Marty, you can come back on this one. I thought our ice management, our clock management, especially in the third period when we got ahead, it was a lot different than I've seen of us lately. We didn't keep the foot on the pedal. We didn't keep going after them. We dumped it in behind them. We made them turn. We went and worked their bodies, and they coughed it back up to us, and we put it straight in behind them again and went back to work.
And Coventry essentially couldn't really deal with that. I mean, Giants, obviously, they get the 2-goal cushion, and then, as we've touched numerous times on game management, Adam Keefe obviously then has a different style of play to go in and do, as you say, jump in the play. And before, when we were in Leeds, that wasn't really paying off. We're now got the bodies back, we've got the energy, the guys were going in winning that puck, and then there was some good hard battles in the corner, keeping not killing time, but just keeping it in that safe zone, maybe working a bit of a cycle, etc. But that's the Belfast Giants we know, where they're able to have different game plans throughout the 60-minute game, and we just haven't really seen it that much this season because things haven't went our way. Just one thing I'd like to touch on as well, you know, we with Blake Spears coming in, you know, we've got 2 established centre men playing first and second line. You know, there was a period there where we didn't have a centre man fit. You know, so we've got Lake in the first, we've got Blake Spears there in the second. I just feel it's also calmed everything down. The forwards are more in control. They know, of course, they're professionals, that they never don't know where they are. But sometimes when you've got that natural centre man, he just settles everything down, and everyone knows where to be. And if someone does go out of position, then boys are in there replacing. And I've certainly seen Blake Spears being a very valuable addition to the team. He's been 9 games, and we've won 7 out of them 9.
We also have a pretty strong upturn in face-off percentage from Ben Lake as well. You know, if you're winning 55%, maybe even slightly more, you're doing well in the face-off. So Spears has brought that as well. That being that natural centre man, we're a bit more of a puck possession team. We always have been. You've got the puck 9/10 of law and all. It's a lot easier to play with the puck, Marty.
There's that goal there, Marty. There's that goal for the people who are watching on YouTube. You see this one coming in. We see when the play comes in and the pressure. You don't see it in that one, but the pressure from Bobby Mack just pokes it away from him. It's a great forecheck from Bobby Mack.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I remember Clements, he had the puck behind the net. He comes round and Bobby reads, reacts. Yeah, very good forecheck, good poke check, get that puck, and then just slots it through the 5-hole. Yeah, it was. And then I think from that goal, then the confidence grew, and then that's obviously when they went on to get the 5th goal.
Says, talk me through. I haven't. I don't have the audio on the highlights, probably just as well. When Blake Spears goes and scores that goal, it's been a long time since I heard you excited.
Oh, mate, it was a great finish. I mean, you're 3-2 down. Just to be picked the puck up on a good spot, and there's nothing. I mean, we had a really good view of it. Me and Dicko had a really, really good view of it. And the goalie goes down. Dicko was saying he goes down and covers his post, but he literally leaves like a postage stamp. And he couldn't have put it any better to the shot. Still probably 15, 20 feet from the net. And it's not as if he sort of flicked it up there. He absolutely rifled it up there to get a pass to make it 3-3. And, he's still growing that beard now. He's had a point a game since he came in. He hasn't shaved the beard. He's going to keep it going until that finishes. So hopefully he comes out and his beard's right all the way down to here before the end of the season. It's
really, really interesting analysis from Dicko when he's on the webcast. And same with Marty, ex-players, current players. They're fantastic to listen to. Dicko was talking about the tendencies of the newer breed of goaltender, the horizontal vertical, I think it was he called it, says, where they're half covering up, they're half covering down. And as soon as Spears breaks that right wing and that goalie goes into that horizontal vertical, it's possibly a tendency that they've noticed. As soon as he went in, that Spears has other places to shoot, thinks nothing but just past your eyebrows here, mate.
Again, he's a smart hockey player. Marty touched on it earlier. This is the guy, these guys, you don't get to play in the NHL if you're a stupid hockey player. These guys know how to play the game. They just have that little extra second that, he's played in 21, 22, I think it was in the NHL. But it's literally that little extra bit of time. It's where he gets the shot. It's sort of, you watch the goalie make a little bit of a move before the shot goes off, but I think it's just because the way he's sort of snapping his wrist or holding the stick, and the goalie's sort of gambling to see if he thinks he's going to put it down low or between the 5-hole. But the finish was just absolutely remarkable. Again, it's not as if it's flicked up into the top corner. He absolutely rifles this thing over the glove or over the glove, and it's a fantastic finish. So yeah, great to get tied up. That was an important goal for us. And obviously the second period, but then get into the third, we just basically closed things out, which was important. But this point here, we're 5-3 up at that point. That's a massive save by Jackson. I mean, that's huge because he's going post to post. And again, coming in and relief is never easy. And obviously, I don't think he's coming into that game on Saturday thinking that Besko's going to get pulled. So Besko's nice and fresh. He's ready to go. And again, Jackson was needed, and he stepped in and he did a great job.
Well, let's just hear what the coaches had to say. Hopefully, get it right this time.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good week. I thought today wasn't our best performance in terms of execution. I thought that the guys were battling, though. They were working hard right from the drop of the puck. I think that third period there, we had run into some penalty trouble. Ben Lake gets us a big insurance goal and then a huge 5-on-3 kill. So I mean, that's nice to see from the guys. They're competing for each other, and that's what we want. We want to see a bit of a playoff atmosphere here, and we want to play like we are in the playoffs. And moments like that where you're battling like that to see out a game, those are the times that we have to be good, and the guys were.
And lads, we haven't got to say it all that often of late. I suppose a doubleheader at home. Not just a 4-point weekend, a 6-point week.
Yeah.
Good to see, yeah. It's seven. I think I said 7 wins in 9 games, and then obviously 6-point week. momentum's building at the right time. Obviously, we want the momentum throughout the season, but it's building more or less at the right time for realistically the final trophy that we can win.
And Simon, you've referenced it a few times now on different webcasts that you've been doing over the weekend there. Mark Cooper starting to come back to fitness, Gino starting to come back towards it.
Yeah, they've both been on the ice and hopefully they're getting they're going to be day to day, maybe week to week. That's just the way things are at the minute. Garside's obviously done for the season. Greg Prince is starting to get, he's starting to do a bit more work as well. So hopefully, my goodness, hear that weather. Hopefully they can start, getting bodies back. It's more options that the coaches have leading into the stretch itself is going to be important. So hopefully we can do that and get things going.
And Marty, we're not going to do a preview of this week's games. It's the part of the show I hate, and I'm in control, so I can do whatever I want. But we will take a little note towards them. Big weekend coming up.
Massive weekend. Everyone knows that Sheffield have been a class above this season. Okay, they faltered. They faltered against Cardiff there, and then also they faltered against Manchester. So maybe they've just took their foot off the pedal. Obviously, they haven't been pressurized as such. So Sheffield, obviously, when Belfast come into town, the crowd get excited and they'll want to perform. But at the same time, good test for the Giants. See where we're at. Obviously, it's visible that we've got a lot better. And Adam Keefe will want to go in there and get some points at least. I think I read there that Sheffield are bringing, they're doing a bit of a tribute to some of the ex-players, Longstaff and Shudra, etc. So some legends there. So obviously, yeah, it'd be good to kind of ruin that party for them this weekend.
Anything says?
We're not going into just to basically making numbers up. We're going to win. So Adam will be preparing the boys this week and trying to get results this weekend. As I say, we've won 3 in a row for the first time in quite a while. Hopefully, we can basically make it 4, and then if it not goes our way, make it 5. It'd be great. But one game at a time. Sheffield are going to be ready. You've just mentioned it. They've been great this year, but they're beatable. Manchester beat them at home last week. Cardiff beat them the week before. There's definitely a chance there of getting in and just put the pressure on. We're not under pressure this weekend. Absolutely not. It's up to the Sheffield Steelers. They're the ones who got to close this out. It's been, if you'd asked me 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, I'd have just said that the league's over. And I think I actually probably did. I thought that the Steelers were 17 or 18 points ahead of Cardiff and Belfast. And Cardiff have had a great run in the last month. I think they've won 12 of 14, which is fantastic. But it's, they've closed the gap on them. And, the squeaky bum time, I think it was when Alex Ferguson referred to it. So it's they're going to have a difficult chance to go down the lane. They've got to play us 4 times. They've got to play Guildford twice. They've got to play Cardiff twice. So it's not over just yet.
It ain't over to the Fat Brummy sings, but you'll probably be singing soon enough. Paddy said I had to share the league table, so here it is. If you've read it, there you go. Nothing to say about it. Boys, any other business?
Yes.
1 minute.
He's home from Birmingham.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, great
Fantastic.
to see him back. Back in, I think he's ended up back in the Royal, but he's back from Birmingham and fighting a wee lung infection. But great to have him back in Northern Ireland, and he's being well looked after by his nurses are his friends now.
Girlfriends more likely.
Girlfriends. So it's good to see him with a smile. He's the only lad that you see him in hospital. He's got a big smile on his face. I wonder why. But lots of love to young Blake and not so young Blake anymore. But lads. That's us. I just have to line up the outro and say, wherever you are this week, we hope you enjoy your hockey, and we'll catch you next time on A View from the Bridge. Still you rise.